Hello, hello, hello. It's Anne Lewis, your independent Stepping Up demonstrator based on the Sunshine Coast here in Queensland, Australia. Tonight I'm going to be showcasing the Coneflower, I keep saying Coneflower Celebrations stamp set. Now I'm only going to be using the stamp set. I'm not going to be using the amazing dies. I'll save that to another night. These are the dies. So there's actually two sheets, so lots of dies. And they've got so much versatility. And I keep looking at this and I keep on thinking that this is a skirt for a young girl. So I'm still keeping that in mind, that I might be using it. But every time I look at that, that's what I see. Now, I'll just grab my catalogue. Now, I'm going to be using, for the one little sheet of designer series paper, I'm going to be again using the Florals in Bloom designer series paper. And I'm just going to be using this, what I would call the B-side. I had to, well, you'll see, I had to actually not show you that piece. This is in cloud cover, so it's got like a blue-grey tone. Absolutely love it and perfect for this project. And I'm also going to be using these flat, I think they're called flat pearls, in the in colours. Hi Elizabeth, how are you? State of Origin tonight, so I've brought it on a little earlier. Now, the other thing, well, where you can find this set is on page 82 of the annual catalogue. Now, interestingly, I passed over this. I kept looking at it and going, no, I don't need that. And then I kept seeing these great projects. And then one of my customers said, I love, 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 love that stamp set. And I went and had another look at it, and you know me, fell in love with it. Now, hi Glenda. He goes right behind me after a busy day, having a bit of a sleep. Hopefully she stays there. Now, for those that don't know, Kiko is my rescue cat who does have a bad habit of joining me when I craft. I think she gets a little jealous. Now, these are the two projects. So this is the first project, which I would put down that anyone can do, or most, casual stampers. This one is a little more stepped up. I'm hoping you can see the shine that I've added there. Got this love affair with Wink of Stella at the moment. And I've got a few different ways of colouring this card. I'm going to change it up. Now, I kept a Timid Tiger, which is one of our new in colours, cloud cover, which is the blue-grey. Now, there's no, Stampin' Up have not got an ink pad that is cloud cover. There was an issue with it. It didn't meet Stampin' Up's quality control. However, what does work is the re-inker on the little stamping spots. I just didn't get time to put my stamping spot out and refill it. Now, let's get going. Because, we've got to get to State of Origin. Because I think they're going to need me barracking for them tonight. So this is the colour that I'm using, Timid Tiger, which is what my cardstock is. Now, this is a quick and easy card, and you're going to see that. So I'm going to, got a little layer of stuff here. So I'm going to score this down the centre, which if in Australia, that's 4 1/8. If you're in the States, it's 4 1/4. So I always use standard card, well, most of the time, not always. Oh, this is American size cardstock. That was just a test for me, wasn't it? So I'm just cutting that extra 1/4 inch off. Normally I wouldn't have any American size cardstock, but on this occasion I do. and it has got mixed up with our normal cardstock. Rightio. So there's my card base. Let's just put this up here so you can see what I'm doing. And as I said, this is not going to take very long, but there's still a few techniques actually involved. Now, this is the big coneflower, and I'm just going to ink it in Memento Black. Now, you could easily do this in StazOn. I very rarely use StazOn because I get a bit lazy and I don't like cleaning the stamp sets afterwards, because it does take a couple additional steps and it does stain the stamp sets. So here we go. Now, in this stamp, this is the top of the, as you can see I've done there, is the top of the flower. So it doesn't sit like that. It's not like a badminton shuttlecock. Anyway, now this time I put this right up the top, but now I've seen it, I'm going to drop it down just a smidgen. I just think it was too close. So sometimes you've got to see how it looks to get where you think the design might be the nicest. So you can see I've dropped it down a fair bit. Now it comes with a stem. Now I want the stem to come out of the center of the flower, but if I just stamp this down, it's going to stamp over. So I need to mask it. Now I have a little mask here that I've already cut out. So what is a mask? And I'm going to do one from scratch. Got to be a little careful because I'm using post-it notes and sometimes they're all sticky. The whole page is sticky. Sometimes, I'm just looking for my, oops, sorry. Sometimes gets a bit sticky and rips your paper. Now I don't have to add a lot of ink on this. This is just a mask, so I don't actually use it. And I'm going to use this later on the next card as well. So this is just a post-it note. And I've used a post-it note. I could use the Stampin' Up masking paper. Now, I only need that part there where the stem is going to go cut finely. So I'm just going to cut around. I'm going to cut the edge just so that I know how to line it up. Just helps me a little bit. You can see I'm not taking any time. Actually, all my techniques tonight, you can spend a lot of time on them if you wish. But I just want them to look good. But I don't want to spend hours on each flower. So let's just, this will be a fussy cut. Now when I mean fussy cut, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to be enough so I can line that up. So I'm just doing the first up to that flower there, just so I can line it up. Now masking is it's one of those easy techniques and it comes in handy. Righto, that's all I'm going to do. So you can see I didn't spend a lot of time on it. So I'm going to cover this, and I've got, for reference, the 3 petals there. And I want to actually add, I'm looking for my pokey tool to point something out to you. Oh, here it is. So that's where I'm going to be adding the stem. Anyway, here's my stem. Now my stem can go either way. I've added a bend, which is really easy because they're so flexible when they're skinny. But I could turn it up and I could have the flower going the other way, which is how I did the second sample that I put together. You'll see how easy this is. Elizabeth says she loves the stamp set. I do too. As I said, I ignored it. I was well behaved for a little while. So I can now put my stamp over the mask, which protects my image. But I do want the bend. So I'm just going to put it like that. Righto. Then you will see, I'm just going to peel that off, and you can see how now my stem goes behind the flower, or appears to go behind the flower. Now I want to add some leaves. I've got 2 sets of leaves here. So I'm going to add this. Now again, this is not easy to line up. So I'm going to just protect my stem here. Ink up. So I said, these are just really quick tips. Here's my flower. So again, I'm just using that mask of the flower. Could be just a straight line. I don't need that flower, but I'm just using it. Yeah. I'll peel. I pressed on this a little harder. This time it's stuck. Right out. So now you can see how easy it was to line up right to the stem. So again, I'm going to do the same. Here's another leaf. So I'm just using this because it's sticky and it protects what I'm doing. Now I don't want these going out like that. I don't know why, but it just doesn't, for me, that's not visually pleasing. So, it's a little harder, this one. Every card's always different. I'll drop that down a bit. Right now. I've got to put it out a little further because I've dropped that down a bit. Right now. But that black on there just looks so stunning. Then I'm going to add the sentiment, which the sentiment comes from the Coneflower stamp set. And there are so many sentiments here. So you made my day. It's your day. Happy belated birthday. I know. I'm quite often late sending my birthday card, so it's perfect. Then it's got the inside of the card, which I love that Stampin' Up's now doing this. I'm sorry I missed your special day. Let's extend the celebration. And there's another one here. I love that I've known you for so many birthdays. It's got a little background stamp here as well, which I'm going to use. I missed finding that before. So let's put this together. First off, I'm just going to add the sentiment. If you're watching, let me know. Make sure you let me know that you can see and hear me. I assume you can because nobody's told me otherwise. So I'm just going to add the happy belated birthday stamp here. Now, as you see on this, I've added 2 black borders to give it a little bit of drama. It's easy to do that. I've just got 2 strips that can be however wide you want to make them. I just had them in my scrap bin, so pulled them out. All I ever do is pick my best cut side, because some sides it looks a little nicer than others, and do exactly the same on this side. And the idea, which is always hard for me, not a lot of glue, otherwise it will squish everywhere. And using our multi-purpose glue is so good because it means that you can wiggle it at the last minute. Now, however, I've got to cut these off, so I can line it up from this side. I never cut them to size because they may just be marginally different. Rightio. Chuck those. Yeah. Line that up, stick it down, and you can see how quick and easy. Hi, Marianne. How quick and easy this card actually is. Anybody could do it. So then I'm lining this up top and bottom because it's the same size as that. So this is 5.5 inches. And I didn't cut this bit just as tight as I wanted it, so I'll just turn that over and trim that up. So still looking a little boring, so I'm going to grab some of these flat pearls, the 2025-2027 in colour flat pearls, and I'm going to use the Timid Tiger. Need a few of these, so I might put one down there. Now I always work on the principle of a triangle, and not really centering anything, because if you center something and get a little off, everybody can see it, whereas if you've made no attempt to center, it all looks fine. Okay. So on the inside of the card, I'll just show you what I put on this. So I've got, I'm sorry I missed your special day. So that's this stamp set here. Now I hadn't used the stamp set till today, so I'm just going to test it. Yep, perfect. Sometimes I have a little bit of like manufacturing finish on them, and they don't stamp as well unless you clean them. There we go. I'm sorry I missed your special day. Then I'm going to add this little butterfly. Now, to be honest, I meant to do it in Timid Tiger, but I did it in black. I think I cleaned it up. Oops, I did. So let's just do it in some Timid Tiger. Otherwise, I've got to colour it. Yeah. So then that will match. I mean, I like the black one that I coloured in with Cloud Club. That's hard to say. Cloud Cover. Now, how quick and easy was that card? Super easy. Now, I could have actually put a black border around that and that would have made it pop a little more. But I did try and keep it relatively simple. So there's the card. So that you can see the difference that dropping that down has made. And to be honest, if I made a third of these cards, another one, I would probably put it somewhere in between those two. So which one do you like? A little drop down or nicely in the corner? Let me know whilst I get ready for the next card. And I've just got to find my sample. As you know, everything walks on my desk. Here it is. So there's card number 2. And you'll see it's a little stepped up. I'll put that out of the way. But some of the same techniques are there. Now, my little mask has got caught on something. Oh, here it is. No, that's my original mask. Hate this. Anyway, I might use my original mask. Anyway, so this is my card base, same size as the previous one, 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. My basic black is 3 3/4, and I can't read my other one. 3 3/4 by 5 1/8. So that's that layer, and this is my top layer. So I'm going to stamp on my top layer, again with this stunning big flower, but this time I'm going to colour it in, hence why I'm going to be using some blends. Actually, I'm going to be using quite a few things, but I will use my Memento Black because most of what I'm using is blends. So again, let's put it, I don't know, like that. I actually like number 1 high up. See, it's one of those things, everybody has a different thing. I'll probably go for it somewhere in between. But it does tell you that where you place something does actually matter. So I can't find that yellow mask that I made before, so let's use my old one. You saw how it works. We'll just stick that down. Just got to line that up a little better than I did. So at this time, I'm putting I've just spun this around so that the stem will actually go in the opposite direction. Now the stem you can have perfectly straight, but I like that illusion of it going behind the flower. Now I'm going to be doing, I don't know, see how good that looks, just because I used a little piece of paper to protect it. I know. So now let's not do too much. Let's just colour it in. And I'm going to be using blends. You could use whatever colouring medium you have, but I'm also going to be using my watercolour pencils. I'm kind of using a little bit of everything just to get a little bit of detail, but you use what you want, however that is. Now, so I'm using, my colours are, because of the Timid Tiger, I'm using light Timid Tiger, dark Timid Tiger, and then also dark Pumpkin Pie, just to give it a bit of a lift. So I'm going to be doing using the brush tip, I'm going to be doing the light shade first. Now, for anyone who follows me colouring, you know I don't spend hours, right? I don't even spend many minutes, because for me, colouring has to be fun. I'm no artist, and I like leaving a little bit of white as it adds that extra texture. I've done this a little different than what I did the first one. So this is, you can see, I'm just filling it in. But as I said, I always leave a little bit. But I do go in the direction of the image, or the flower petals in this case. When I get near the edge, I've got to slow down just a smidgen. Right. So then I'm going to go to the dark Timid Tiger, and I'm trying to give this flower a little bit of a curve, and I do that by adding, I want the brush tip, adding just at the top here, and I don't do it level, so I don't have it all like a direct line. Some is long, some is a little shorter. So this adds a bit of darkness to the top layer. As I said, this is quick and easy. Now I'm then using the pumpkin pie, dark pumpkin pie. Now, to be honest, my brush tip, this is an original one, so I've had it about 6 years, 5-6 years. So I'm using the, just to add a little bit of dark. I'm doing in lines and follow. You can see they've already given me some guidance with those accent lines. Don't forget that layer 2, it needs to be darker, because obviously it's under that first row of petals. I know. I'm going to go back over with the Timid Tiger light, just to blend it a little bit. Not getting too carried away, not spending hours on this, because you don't need to. It will still look really, really nice. But if you're one who loves colouring and adding all the details, you still can. It's just if you're like me, and I don't have a lot of, I'm not an artist. Might be creative, but I'm not an artist. Now, I'm just going around with the pumpkin pie watercolour pencil, which I'm not going to add water to it. I'm basically just adding a little bit of accent with it. And it's one of those steps that you don't really see, can't find where you've done it, but it does make a difference. And I also add just a little bit of white in here as well. Now, I've probably got a little bit too much white. I don't mind a little bit, but I don't want a whole lot of it, looking like I've just missed a bit. Rightio, so I'll just show you what I've done so far, but I've got to do my favourite step, add the Wink of Stella, because you know I've been using it every week, because it adds the bit of bling. Now, I use it all over, but I don't spend a lot of time. When I mean all over, I mean roughly all over, because having it miss in a few places means that it shows up in the other places a little better. Now, so I'm hoping you can see that wink. Hide out. Now, wait a minute, I'm just going to see if there's any comments. See, hide out. So I've still got to colour this. Now, there's a few different ways. I could leave some of it white, but I'm chosen to do a light cloud cover, which we do have a blend for. So I'm just roughly just going around the center. I'm hoping you can see that. And then with the dark color, I'm going, it kind of nearly comes out black. Nearly, not exactly. If I kept going over it, it wouldn't come out black or close to black. I've gone a little over the line and then I tried to correct it. You know what happens then, don't you? Anyway, right, that's better. So now you can see I've got a light center, which gives it a little bit of highlight, gives it a little bit of realism. Of course, let's add some Wink of Stella on that as well. Now, I've got the green. You'll see me do this really quick. Oh, I've got to do the leaves again. This time I'm colouring them. Grab my, I probably might be putting the leaves on the other side this time. Wish I knew where my yellow was, but that's okay. Right, so we're putting that up there. Oh, I've got that one a little further over than I considered. This one will come down a little bit. I know. Now, while I've got that, I'm going to do another belated birthday because I could do with lots of these, unfortunately. And this time I'm putting it on this side to give a bit of balance to the project. You'll see how quick, I'm just using Mossy Meadow. You'll see how quick I pull this together. I think, oh, these are so old. It's done that all night, actually. I don't know. I want to do light first, so let's do the light. So I'm using the brush tip just to keep it a little quicker. I might turn it around. So you can see, I'm not getting too carried away. I'm just filling this in and there'll be lots of white left. As I said, it's quick and easy. This perfect for a state of origin night. Now I just want to add the dark. I'll blend all that in a second. I'm going to go back with the light and just go over and blend it a little bit. As I said, it adds a bit of texture when you leave a little bit of white. So how's that? Now, you can see the difference between these two. One I added a background to and one I kept white. I have to say I like the background, adding a little bit of background. And I'm going to be using, I've just got to find the stamp set. I'm going to be using this background here, which I hadn't seen before. Now, I did cloud cover. Remember I said we don't have an ink pad unless I had put together a inking spot, which I haven't done yet. So I'm going to show you another solution to this. Get rid of all those and grab a marker. Now, it's really easy to use a marker, but I want to protect my little flower first up. So all I'm going to do is run it across. Now, using a marker makes it even lighter than it would be if I use some ink. Let's see what that's going to look like. Perfect. So it just fills in if you're thinking you've got too much white space. Okay, so we'll put them there, maybe there. No. Now, if you're using your Stampin' Right markers, now we're not talking about blends here. You can't use it you can't put blends onto stamp sets. It'll never clean off. It'll ruin them. So let's put another one here. So all it does is add a little bit, takes away that too much white. Now I could have used a water wash and done the same. So you can see where my mask comes in handy for here. I just need some down here. So, would you keep it white, or would you actually add a little bit of background? Actually, I might put a little bit more there. Right now, you don't see me do this very often because I'm I suppose, a fairly clean stamper, and I like things lined up. But this time, I'm going to put everything at a bit of an angle because I think this card just asks for that. So let's see what works. That kind of works like that. So we can slide that over a bit. This is where the wet liquid glue works so much better. I'm going to add some dimensionals. And really, you've seen what the inside of the card could be. So I've done 2 cards in just over half an hour. And whilst I just put this card together, don't forget I've got a class coming up on the 29th of this month, which we're going to be doing techniques. And I think you might see one of these cards, probably the colouring one, because it's such a good technique. And it's fun and it's relaxing colouring. And also we've got only 2 weeks left of the sweet sale. If you want some details, go to my webpage, go to my, I think my blog's got something on it as well, but certainly my online store does. So, anyway, so you can see what happens when you put it at a bit of an angle. So, Glenda likes the background. Everybody likes the background. So, they're my cards. But again, I want to add just a little bit more texture. I want to add some of these flat pearls. I think these are going to disappear. Now, this time, rather than using the Timid Tiger, I'm going to be using the cloud cover. I'm trying to use some big, some small. Now, I always put them at a version of a triangle. So 1, 2, so something over here. Let's use one of these big ones up. So, oh no, that one's had a little, oh no, there, works a bit better. Where's this? I should be using my take a pick tool that has the little pick me up, like adhesive on it. Rightio. So there we go. Now the inside of the card, I didn't do the inside of the card yet, of this one either. But let's bring back those cards. I'll bring back the first ones I did. And then the new ones. So if you had to pick a card, let's just do these. Which one would you pick? The first one that I did, or which would be your favourite? Or if you got this stamp set and bundle, which one would you make first? So would you make number 1 or number 2, or do you like them both? Or would you use the dies, which I'll be using maybe next week. I'll show you how to use the dies because there's so many dies in there and so many techniques. So Glenda likes them both. So thank you very much. Don't forget about the sweet sale so that you can buy, it's a BOGO sale. So you buy one item full price and the second item 50% off. of any items that are in the suite, in any suite, so you can mix and match from across suites. Just remember that is the cheapest one that the 50% comes off. So don't buy a really expensive bundle and then pair it with some embellishments, because it's the embellishments you'll get half off. So think really carefully about placing your order, and sometimes it works out to actually put in 2 orders if you take in, even taking in the shipping, what the best offer is. Stop and think about it. Thank you, Julie. I'm glad you would like them. These will appear on my blog over the next couple of weeks. At the moment, I'm in the middle of renovations, which you can imagine what that's like. So I have workmen here and I'm not cleaning out the house, shifting the house from one end of the house to the other every day. So thank you, everybody. Really appreciate you joining me tonight. I love these cards. I just love that bundle. It's so easy to use, and I can't wait to watch State of Origin tonight with my fingers crossed. So for everybody, I hope that your team wins. And of course, if you come from Queensland, I extra hope that it's Queensland. So bye for now. Have a great. Oh, I haven't shown you me all day. Hi. Have the best week. And I was going to tell you this originally this morning. I was going to do, I can't think of the name of it, but one of our kits that is blue and has beautiful blue flowers on it. And I went, today's not the day to do a blue project. It didn't have to be a maroon project. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.